How did she do that? How did she do that? Jeez, she must have struck some fear into whoever she was complaining to. So then, logically though, then you could say that if she shut down something that has to do with aiding the success in reuniting children with their families, if she puts a divide between that, wouldn't that be considered as another form of child abuse? Yeah. And I just want to make it clear to everybody that's even watching this, what is the organization's name again that they're portraying as? Right. And now this lady Sandy, she's got a partner in crime, and her partner's name is Francesca Amato Banfield. Supposedly, she goes by a few names that are very similar. Right. So it's
know who you are, and I love it.
I think it's really sad though that there's cases being lost by these people because they're claiming to advocate and represent these people, and cases are being lost.
You know, I've been in a court. I've been in the court system, and it's a heartfelt thing. And you're fighting for the lives of your children, the things that mean the most to you. And to have, you're looking for any hope. And if someone says we're going to do a class action lawsuit, and please send $100, you get on that class, and that really, have they gone through the steps to go into a class action lawsuit? Or did they just yip off and say, we're going to do one?
I'm telling you, I've been doing this for a lot of years, man, about 9 years, 10 years, and I've heard hundreds of people, hundreds try to say that. Because there's this class action, please send me 50, 200 sometimes. And you know what? There's never anything. They just pocketed the money and you just kissed your ass. Your money is goodbye.
Exactly. I would have more effect spending that $100 and driving to the closest city, and hang out in front of the courthouse with that $100 than what P4P is doing with it.
And it's pretty sad. I think it's really sad. It's really sad. And there's so many people sucked into this. And then when you do call them out, because as a prevention, they're supposedly a professional organization. And when you call them out, then you get called a pedophile. You get called a fraud or a drug addict. They really go all out. So that in itself shows that these aren't the kind of people that you want representing your cases. They themselves have demonstrated that fact.
I've dealt with this type of person on numerous occasions, not necessarily Sandy, but types of people, and they all do the same thing. They talk in circles, they try and confuse you, and then when you call bullshit on everything, then they attack you. They go for any little weakness that they know about you, drug up, anything, and they will bring it out, try to expose it.
Or they'll try to use you to sell their book.
Because, yeah, you're bullied into, like, I believe I saw on the blog there about Sandy was looking for files in an Alberta court. Well, the person that she has a beef with, Jim, is in Alberta. Why would she be looking for files? What do you think? I know. She's trying to get poop, just so she can intimidate and bully Jim. But Jim has he's just sitting there watching. He contacted the blogger. Still doesn't know who she is. He just took his stuff and ran with it. She's amazing.
I know, but I'm not saying.
Really? And I think the other person on the line there, Lorelei, I think she has quite a bit to say on this whole topic here, and she can attest to the manipulation and what this lady is like.
Sure.
Oh, Sandy, if you're listening, hi.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll be really happy to hear from me. I've known Sandy since 2008. Our kids were best friends. Her children slept over at my house when we moved across the street from her 3 or 4 nights a week. I was there when her ex-husband left her. At that time, she was so desperate to get him back. And one of the reasons he left, because he told this to us, is that Sandy, every time they got into an argument, was threatening to call CFS and accuse him of stuff. And he finally had enough, and he left. Now, at that point, I myself confronted Sandy, and I asked her, I said, did you threaten to say that he was sexually molesting the children? And she just yelled at me. She goes, well, everybody says something that they don't mean when they're angry. And I'm going like, well, they don't say that. And they don't threaten back. And so she went, and after that, she tried for months, even trying to get him to sign dating contracts and things like this to try and get him back. And as soon as it became evident that he was not coming back, she changed her tune. I always knew he was a sexual molester. And then the example she gave is that her ex-husband was lying in a bed with her daughter when her daughter was still in diapers, and the diaper fell off, and Sandy walked in, and she jumped off the bed too fast, so therefore he's a sexual predator. You know, I'm sorry, I have 5 children. You don't even want to know how many times their diapers fell off when they were rummaging around when they were asleep and stuff. It just happened. It doesn't make me a sexual predator. It doesn't make anybody else a sexual predator. But so it became evident she wasn't coming back. She'd do things like the ex-husband every day came from across the city to drive those children to school. One day she decided, no, she's not seeing them. So she called the RCMP. And he was no longer taking the children to school. Things like that she used to deny him access to the children. Finally, he went to court. He got access, court-ordered access, and the first allegation of sexual assault came out. That was, and of course, he was not allowed to see his kids during the investigation. That investigation was complete, and at that time, she told the CFS investigators that her husband had been fired from a job he had at his daycare during university because of improprieties with the children. So the investigation didn't contact the daycare at that time. They just said that inconclusive, suspicion remains, but they started giving him access back to his children. As soon as he started getting access back to his children, well, guess what? Another allegation. This time, he took pictures of the children naked of it and, had them all over the place. So then we go into another investigation, and this time they contact the daycare where the ex-husband worked. And the director there is going, no, he was a great employee. We loved him. We would have loved to have him stay on, but he was going to law school, and he left. So their second allegation is debunked. And this time they know that, he's lying. So then it comes to the point where the court has a family assessor interviewing the family all separately. Well, Sandy wasn't allowed in when they were interviewing Montana. And I guess she thought the child, and she thought that the interview didn't go well. So the next day she phoned CFS and told CFS that the girl was physically assaulted by the assessor. But she didn't do anything. A month later, the assessor's report comes out. It's detrimental to Sandy. Sandy filed a complaint with CFS alleging assault. This worker was put on leave while it was investigated because everything Sandy ever claimed has been investigated. There's been 9 separate investigations, and they've all been debunked. So then the court ordered that the ex have sole custody of the children due to her emotional abuse of those kids. And because they hadn't seen their father and were conditioned to say these things about their father, they weren't willing to immediately go into his care. So my house was set up by the court to be a transition home for those children while they were getting back with their dad. Now, at that time, you have to remember, our kids had been best friends. Those kids had been over at that house so many times, to the point they just walked in. They didn't knock. They didn't call to come over. They just walked in my house, and that was great. So as soon as the court ordered my house to be a transition home, Sandra, who at that point was illegally living with her children because the court had ordered her to move out of the house during during this time, had her daughter write a letter alleging that my husband was viewing pornographic pictures of them with the ex-husband. So if you read in Can Lee documents, Sandra at one point in court said that this silver laptop fell out of her ceiling at her house and fell on top of her father's head. And it was full of all these pornographic pictures and magazines and everything else. And the judge says, well, where is it? And of course, it's disappeared. Nobody but her and her dad were living in the house, but this laptop, full of all of this evidence, while you're involved in an extremely contentious custody case, this laptop with all this evidence disappeared after falling out of your ceiling and hitting your father in the head. Now all of a sudden it's gone. Where'd it go? So she made these allegations against my husband. My children had to be interviewed by CFS. My husband had to be interviewed by the RCMP. I had to be interviewed by CFS.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, thought at this time, they basically told me because the court hearings was coming up, they had to do it because it was just ludicrous. But these are the lengths that Sandra Giesbrecht goes to further her own agenda, not anybody else's. She's not in this for anybody else. And what she's doing, I'm sorry, but, you know, she should be back in jail.
Yep.
She really should be.
I have to agree with you.
She kidnapped her children. She kidnapped her own children. Rammed a police car with her children in the vehicle. And this is somebody who you want guiding you, giving you advice on how to get your children back. Well, guess what? She's never getting her children back while she acts like this. Ever.
See, the fact is that these people shouldn't even trust an advocate unless this advocate has actually went through the system and won.
Hey, John.
Yes.
Let's look at it. Let's just talk about a couple of the facts here. Okay, so the husband accused drug addict, accused pedophile, accused abusive. All these accusations and all debunked, nothing held water. Now you look over to the other side, and the judges found that Sandy did not have a healthy relationship with her children. She was, what was it? Something getting in the way of the relationship with the father, trying to impede the relationship, which is also parental alienation, and about an abduction. All these things she's proven and accused of and found guilty of. Yet she's running this help group and that saying, well, for all these victims and stuff like that, saying she's rooked by the system. Look at her actions. She rammed a freaking police car.
With the kids. Children. Yeah, with her kids in her car, yeah.
Okay, and is that not logical? Like, who does that with their children? And she's running a support group.
When she got caught by the cops, they had their taser guns out. She pulled her children in front of her, hid behind them, and begged them not to hurt her. Not her kids. Begged them not to hurt her. Who the hell puts their children in front of them and hides behind them? She doesn't give a rat's ass about those children. It's all about her need to destroy her ex-husband. That's all she cares about.
And all I'm trying to get out there is that there's these false advocates that people can't trust, and they're falling for this bullshit, hook, line, and sink, and they got to stop because this shit is actually aiding the very corrupt individuals in which we're trying to fight against, right? So when these false advocates are coming out like this, these psychopaths and narcissists, they're actually aiding the corrupt family court system and corrupt child protection.
Just for anyone out there listening, if you're looking for a support group or a help group, if they're asking for money, maybe want to find another support group. And that the support groups that I'm a part of, we offer advice, not legal advice, but just experience as to where we've been, where we're going, and if we can help out. We also put it out to our community, so we get a voice out there, and we get multiple opinions. We don't say, well, for $20, we can tell you how to get this file and do this. No, it's solely just wanting to help, not wanting to pad your pockets.
Exactly.
Maybe she needed child support. Oh no, that's right. She doesn't pay child support. Never mind. Sorry.
No, she's supposed to pay child support, but she won't.
Yeah, that's okay though. That's okay. You know what? I'm sure the father would be like, you know what? Keep your money. Just stay the fuck away from us.
Yeah. Well, at this point, 5 years in, and she gets support, but she still has made zero effort to get a job. Not one single thing. It's pathetic.
If she would have, I understand that she was getting a fair chunk of spousal support and child support, and all she had to do was provide reasonable access to the dad, and life would have been fine. She could have had her house. She could have had her happy life. But no, she chose to be vindictive, greedy, and
blood suck the innocent.
Her hate for her ex is way more than the love for her children.
Oh, definitely. Because up until CFS took those children and seized them from her care, there was an offer on the table from day one for shared custody. And that was only rescinded after CFS took those children and said that she wasn't going to be allowed to see them. That's when that offer got taken off the table, and not until then.
I bet you if Sandy got the mental help that she requires and such, that I bet you that the dad would allow the kids, because I'm sure that, like, even at that point, after all those attacks, he was still having shared parenting. He understands the fact that it's important to have both parents in their life. Even if one parent is crazy, with the proper medication, the proper help, whatever, supervised visits.
I'm in contact with the ex intermittently, like not often, but occasionally, and he's still of the opinion that, kids need both parents, and he's willing, if she gets the help that she desperately needs, he's willing to let her start seeing the kids in a supervised atmosphere. He always has been, but not until she stops this crazy shit, stops the lies, and gets help. And not just help that she's gone to, she paid $5,000 for reports that declare her sane. We're not talking about that. She gave no background info to these psychiatrists. She went in, she talked to them. They said, well, based on what she said, which wasn't much, and she didn't provide me any background info, but just talking to her, she presents as sane. Well, guess what? I can sound sane anytime I want to. That doesn't mean I am.
Like, John, from your experience dealing with these type of people, they thrive on half truths. They'll throw a little tad bit. Well, this happened, and but they don't tell the big scope of the picture.
Oh, I know. And then as soon as you call them out, man, they're gonna start and they try to reverse it on you. They call you the troll, and all you're doing is you're the one investigating it and then exposing it. But then they call it stalking and trolling. But no, you're actually defending your own integrity, and you have every right to do so, and defending everybody else's integrity. It is my right as well as yours and everyone else's that gets to become a victim of these pieces of shit.
Well, the best one that I've heard from her is that she used to have all these theme parties that she'd go on about. So one of them was a Hollywood thing. So her ex dressed up as Marilyn Monroe. So now you see her online all over the place. My husband admitted to cross-dressing. Well, maybe let them know that it was a themed party, and yes, he did dress up as a woman. So, but she takes 1/100th of a truth and twists it so that it's not recognizable. So from dressing up for a theme party, you get a cross-dresser. Yeah, he did dress up as a woman. It was a theme party. Like, he'll take something and twist it and twist it. So there's a small element of truth in it, but she'll make it into something that it's not. And she adds and she adds and she lies and she lies and she lies. I mean, my husband has a saying, if she's talking, she's lying. And that's basically the truth. You know,
does that not sound like Franny the Tranny?
Yeah,
yeah.
That's narcissistic. Yep. And then just lying to the people, trying to reel them in. And I have people, and they look at Francesca's page, and they see her complaining about me, and she says, I've done nothing wrong. Yet here I am holding the screenshots of her bluntly calling me a pedophile, calling me a drug addict, and then she's saying that she's done nothing wrong. So that psychosis that she's just displayed, where she can't admit to her own faults, as acting advocate of this advocacy that she started, it's a fraud. It's proven to be a fraud. You can't trust that mentality right there alone. It's done. She's done. Francesca and Sandy are to just bring down their shit. Nobody wants it. I'll keep pumping it out. So if they don't shut down and shut up, they're just going to keep looking stupid.
Well, Franny has, I asked her for the name of her counsel to serve papers for her. And
there is no counsel. They're all full of shit.
She flat out refused to give me their names. She sent me this voice recording. You're not serving me. I'm serving you.
And then she says she's got another office, several different offices. Oh, I'm calling you out of my New York office or my Chicago office or whatever office. And it's just like, you only got one bedroom in your mom's basement, bitch. What are you talking about?
That's priceless.
Right, but yeah, I can't stand it, and there's people that believe it. She puts up that picture of her beside two police officers, and then she's claiming to all her followers that those are her bodyguards. Well, it's not. It's actually from a day she went on a trip with her mom to Trump Towers, and those are the two guards outside the fucking Trump Towers. And she just asked for a picture with them, and here she is lying to everybody, saying that they're her bodyguards because she's falsely glorifying herself to her feeble followers that are so asleep and so stupid that they can't wake up to these facts being presented in front of them, and they still choose to follow her. Hi, I'm stupid. I think maybe she'll give me some of her fraud money if I stay with her.
Yeah, well, it's pretty interesting with Sandy because she's now trying to withdraw her guilty plea because she did plead guilty to abducting her own children, and in return, the Crown dropped the flight from police officer and an additional abduction charge. So she pled guilty to that. But on the day it happened, of course, the day it was supposed to go to trial, she fired her lawyer, a common tactic that she does. So to try and get it delayed. So the judge said, no, you've had so long. You either represent yourself, get another lawyer, or whatever. So then the next week she pled guilty. Of course, she was supposed to be sentenced in November. But again, she had no lawyer. So now she's going to be sentenced May 7th of 2018. But now she's trying to withdraw her guilty plea, which will cause another hearing for that because she's going to claim, well, I didn't have legal representation. So now she's going to claim that, get a hearing, and further delay her sentencing hearing. But the only good thing about that, and she's dumb that she doesn't realize it, is that once she withdraws that plea, all those other charges are coming right back at you. And the Crown's not going to be so amenable to taking those off the table now if you withdraw your guilty plea.
Yeah.
Especially with all the ruckus that she's been causing in the media and online and stuff like that. Do you not think everyone's watching that? Like, I don't comprehend, like, your goal is to reunite back with your kids. And just for the record, in my opinion, should have never even gone into foster care. She put them in foster care, and then she plays victim.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, poor me, poor me, poor me. You did all this. This is all you're doing. You had not one iota of the child's best interest in any of this. If it was, you would have taken your child support, which was, you know what, a lot of women would give their left nut for that child support.
$5,000 a month she was getting with spousal and child support. $5,000 a month.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
$5,000 a month.
Geez, I'd love to get that every month.
Well, exactly.
But that wasn't good enough because you have to. And you want the kids too. No. You can't have the kids. So that's.
And you know what the really sad thing about this whole thing is since I've been talking to a lot of these people, is the number of women who are falsely accusing their exes of sexual molestation in order to use it as a weapon in custody cases is so sick.
They even use it as a weapon against those trying to expose them. It's happening. It's the best ammunition for them to use. You're a pedophile, and then start spreading it around to try to discredit what you found on them.
Yeah, good enough to raise the children for 10, 15, 20 years. But then when you break up, you're the worst father in the world.
No. And those are parents, and, you know, I hate to say it, but those are parents who should never have been parents. Because if you can do that to your child, like, you know, I don't care how much I would hate my ex. My kids love their dad. Every child needs a parent in their life, unless, you know, they were doing it.
Unless they're like fucking Ted Bundy or John Wayne Gacy, then we're talking like, fuck, stay away from the kid.
But these women who are using these things, because it's automatic, as soon as they accuse them, they lose access while it's investigated.
Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah. You know what? With Sandy Giesbrecht running Punish for Protecting, that's like Charles Manson running a support group.
Charles Manson did run a support group.
Did he?
Yeah. He had his own peace parade. His website is actually still up and being run by his followers, actually.
Says Sharon Tate.
It's pretty crazy. But it is safe to say that, you know, these are the type of narcissistic individuals that you don't want representing your case. You don't want to be following their so-called movement because their movement is false. Any book they try to say that they've written and now they have a movement, they're just trying to use you to get you to buy their book. You know what I mean? The book's not worth shit. It's
further their agenda.
Right. It's just there to pocket, put some money in their pockets. The book ain't worth shit. It ain't worth shit. The only thing that book is worth for is to wipe your ass from taking a shit. That's it. So all these corrupt pieces of shit out there, they can keep misleading people all they want, but then when people like me and everybody else can come out and present the actual evidence that proves them to be frauds and scams, then you know what? They're fucked. There's nothing they can do about it. There's no lawsuit they can throw at me. There's no lawsuit they can throw at anybody because we have the actual evidence. And they can call the police all they want, but you know what? If this gets dragged into court, that just means that we all get to present the evidence against them, and then they're fucked anyway.
Mm-hmm. And I would encourage people to keep an eye on the blog because the class action draft, we have it. And it will be dissected sentence by sentence because right now, all that class action is about Sandra Giesbrecht. So it's total farce. It's going to be dissected on the blog. So if you want to throw a link up to that blog, it's going to be up within the next day or two, going over that class action suit and letting people know, yeah, this is bogus. It is not real. Do not send Sandra Giesbrecht your money.
Yeah, don't give Sandra or her counterparts any money, which means Francesca Amato Banfield or any of her associates in New York. Make sure you stay away from this whole coalition garbage because we're going to start having a list of the blacklisted fraud advocates and organizations, and you can check that out on the website at www.stolen.club. I'm going to have that list there. There's nothing they can do to get it removed. Right down to child abuse organizations, human rights, men's, women's rights, and those groups just make me sick already anyway. They just keep the human divide between two sexes, for fuck's sake. But yeah, is there anything else you guys want to throw in? Add anything?
I think
Go
you
ahead,
can
Mike.
check out the blog at Expose the Real Punters for Protecting Canada Coalition. That's a Facebook page that is up, and the blog is on there, and it's updated.
And it gives
And
everybody
again,
information and evidence on what's being said, how they act, how Sandy's acting, you know, and it's pretty gruesome.
All the evidence is there. All the evidence is there.
That's right.
And I just want to encourage everyone who's looking for support, who's looking for guidance, really check out the people behind these support groups. If they're open, upfront, honest, give you all the information that you need about themselves, then, you know, okay, fine. But these people don't hide. They hide behind their accusations. They hide behind their I'm a victim persona.
They hide behind their advocacy name that they've
Everybody's
created.
against me. Mm-hmm.
So also be careful who you give any personal information to, like court information or what's going on in your court case. Example, you know, with Sandy.
She'll use it against you, and she can fuck
she
you
gets a
in
little
your
bit of
case.
information on you, and then once you cross her, she'll expose that. She'll throw it out at you, and she'll
switch it.
So then that
And
means
so
that this
what if you-
advocate is not really an advocate, but someone that's pretty much sucking the penis of Big Brother and aiding the corruption is what they're doing by sabotaging your case, getting it so that your child is taken into the corrupt system. So that's exactly what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. It's 100%. And, you know, it's Sandy, it's Francesca, it's Roberta, who's one of the admins on Punished for Protecting Canada. It's their P4P legal team that threatens everybody when they're not lawyers. And, you know, if Francesca's watching now, I still am waiting for your response to my request for the contact information for the legal team that you're sticking after me, because I have my own paper for all the trash that you guys have been saying and the lies you've been telling. So I personally would love to sue you and Sandy. So please get your legal team to contact me, because trust me when I tell you, I am waiting for you.
Shit, I'm looking at a huge substantial lawsuit just for the fact that she's called me a pedophile from her fucking fan page. So I could actually sue Francesca for all the $3 she's made on her book.
Well, you should.
Maybe the P4P legal team is still busy with OJ.
Yeah. Maybe I'll hire them to sue Francesca.
And you know what I find amazing is anybody who disagrees with that group is automatically labeled a pedophile.
Yeah, I've noticed.
Or narcissist.
Or in my case, I'm a pedophile enabler, because I wouldn't back her up on her lies. I now enabled her ex to commit pedophilia.
They actually went around telling everybody that I was actually a child protection worker too.
Oh man.
That was crazy. That was funny, I thought so. Well, yeah, but it's in the end, it's safe to say that, you know, this is an organization that is fully exposed, and that if they don't shut down, more of these videos are going to be produced. I'm going to keep collecting more and more victims against these people with evidence, and you know what? I am still moving forward with contacting the police in regards to the shit that Francesca has said about me. You know, sharing convicted sex offenders content that's bashing me after he's been exposed, you know, that just proves that she sided with that sex offender by sharing his false content about me who exposed him.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what's funny is P4P Canada has a Twitter page, and TJ Moonen is basically the only one sending out tweets from it.
And that's the other thing, TJ Moonen, and then seeing the statement from his daughter about what he's done to her, that is pretty sick.
But he's one of their advocates.
That's right. And so here they're calling us pedophiles, yet they're the ones involved with the pedophiles. Do you know what I mean? They're calling us pedophiles, yet they're involved with the sons of bitches and not us.
Yep.
So it's already proven out there, ladies and gentlemen. You got to stay away from these groups. Stay away from this organization that we've just exposed for you today. There are good organizations out there, but they're far and few in between. It sounds like these guys are pretty good. But Francesca Amato and Sandy Giesberichten, the bitchin', I don't know what the fuck her last name.
Sandy McDonald.
Yeah, AKA Cass Kennedy, Janet Ray, Corey Gray, Allie Mae,
Jay Moss.
Jenna Robinson.
Stay the fuck away from Jay Moss.
These are all our Facebook aliases.
Yeah, stay away from TJ. Oh yeah, they got lots. They all do. All of them do.
Yep.
Right. So yeah. But is there anything else you guys want to share?
I think that's good, John. I just thank you for the voice. We appreciate it.
Okay, I'm just gonna stay. I'm gonna jump off and I'll start reading some of the comments that people are posting so far.
Okay, cool.
Okay, thanks, John, and thank
Thanks,
you
John.
for all the work that you're doing, not just for us and getting punished for protecting exposed, but for actually exposing the real perpetrators of all these crimes.
Oh yeah, like especially like that one video where I exposed that pedophile in his church and he's admitting to his crimes right to my face.
Oh my God, we were just watching that.
That was
Sorry
sick.
about that.
It took every inch not to hit that guy, I tell ya.
You're a better person than I am because I would have bitch slapped him so hard it wouldn't have been funny.
Yeah, and I was watching kids play around him in the church. You could hear them playing, and I'm just like, oh my God. And he's at that time he wasn't even supposed to be around kids, but due to the protection of religion on holy grounds, he can be around children. It's a fucked system.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's disgusting. They're allowed to be in right around the children.
They are. But anyway,
and
thank.
saying that God will forgive them. Well, good for God, but nobody else who has a brain is going to.
You can't forgive that. You can't forgive that. And I will never forgive my abuser for what he's done to me ever, ever. I'm just gonna keep exposing him because that's what he deserves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
That's the only way to silence all this is to expose and to expose. And when they lie, like you gotta expose their lies because then they gain momentum. Then they would gain support, and it's false.
Yep, that's right. That's right. Anyway, I'll jump off here, you guys. Thanks again. If you guys ever want to come back on with more information, especially even if it's about the corrupt child protection and family court, you're more than welcome to come on and share your story.
Awesome. Thank you for having us.
You're welcome, my friends.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome. Have a good day, you guys. All right, that was pretty good. That was a nice little conference call. I'm sorry at the very beginning, somebody did mention to hold the phone to the mic closer, so I did do that. These advocates, going back to this Francesca, I'm going to get a little deep here. Being a victim of sexual abuse and then having someone that's a supposed professional and advocate with a claimed organization that calls me a pedophile because I called her out as a fraud and am exposing the evidence of her attacking and trolling and stalking other individuals, to call me that really is something that, hurts a victim of sexual abuse. You don't compare the victim to his actual abuser. And, it goes into my head and it made me really fucking go at you tenfold. So, all he did was just pretty much hit my kill switch, and to where I'm just going to keep exposing you because no advocate, no organization should ever do the things that you guys are doing, especially what's been seen that you've done to these people and the cases that these so-called organizations are risking. We're talking about Francesca. Again, I'm going to mention the names. Francesca Amato Banfield. Sandy, who's got all these fucking different aliases. TJ Moonen. All right, ladies and gentlemen. And I've heard it straight from his daughter what he's done to her. She cannot experience giving birth to a child because of TJ Moonen. Okay, this is a guy that's got a show. And get this. The name of his show is Love Works or Practicing Love. He goes by these two different names, but isn't that sick? So yes, there's pedophiles in Hollywood. There's narcissists in Hollywood. There's mental cases everywhere, and they're also in these advocacies. Any fucking idiot can join up on Facebook, think up a fucking name, say they're an advocate, and they got an organization and so on, and then just start reeling people in. create a PayPal link, donate my shit. I'll write a fucking useless book of lies, sell it to everybody that's looking for fucking hope, sucking them in. It's very sad, ladies and gentlemen, and you don't need to deal with this shit no more. I've looked, I've seen it, I've been watching this go on for almost 10 years. Lies and deceit to these poor people. Not only are your children being used by the system to make money, but these false advocates are using your children and your cases to rake in donations and funding. All right, to pay for $2 t-shirts and get a print put on them and then sell them for $25. All right? It's not about helping you. It's about making money off of you and your story. That's what it's about. All right, a true advocate, they're not going to charge you nothing. A real advocate ain't going to charge you shit. They're going to help you. They're going to give you the proper advice that you need. Right? So don't fall into this whole abyss of bullshit and corruption. Right? And this shit is spreading, ladies and gentlemen. Be very careful who you entrust with your case files. Don't get just some advocate that says, I can represent you in court to represent your case. That would be the most stupidest thing that you could do. Wow. Anyway, I'm going to go back here. I'm going to check out some of these comments for poops and giggles. Again, for anybody that's watching this on YouTube, because this video will end up on YouTube. This is a live being thrown on Facebook. Hey, Marky McKnight, Diane, Tyler, Holly, Elaine, Jerry. Holy shit, there's a bunch. Glenn, how's it going? Jamie Ann, Shelly. You guys are awesome. Nice. Thanks for coming in. These witches are causing harm to protective mothers. Children. Yes, that's right. They are causing harm by doing this. It is a fucking epidemic that they're starting on top of the epidemic that we've already got to deal with. Right? So Shelly says, me too, John. I sent you a PM this morning. Don't know if you take PMs. Yes, I do take PMs. And I will definitely check your message. Diane, thank God. We all know the truth. Damn, these pedos and their supporters, such as Fran. See, now there's other people that know this. People are coming forward. They know that this is an organization that's a fraud. Francesca's a fraud, right? Everybody that's connected to her is a fraud. And if anybody's left on the friends contacts or in any way connected to Francesca or Sandy, there's more than likely a reason as to why they've lost their children, whether it be a severe narcissistic behavior or violence, domestic abuse, and so on, right? Or the woman that wanted to stay with her husband who likes to beat her up, and she still chooses to stay with him more than choose her kids and leave, right? So I've seen it. Don't fall for it. There's some sick individuals running this shit. Don't buy into it. It is some crazy shit. Diane says, I got rid of TJ. Only had him 4 days too long. Right, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you did, because you know what? Whenever we have these people on our contacts list, you know what that means? We're taking a risk. And we're not only risking ourselves, our profiles, our pictures within our profiles, and those connected to us, but we're risking those people connected to us and their children and their possible cases, because we have that infection connected to us. Do you see what I'm saying? Moss is gone too. That's good. Jay Moss is another thing. He's just another... He reminds me of some guy that's like worshiping the devil and trying to be a false prophet, ladies and gentlemen. That is one guy that you want to stay away from, right? And there's other individuals that do these blog talk radio shows and shit like that. And you know what? Most of them actually are really fucking delusional. But yeah, I'm glad you got rid of Moss. Another one is Tracy Ross and her new boyfriend, Jim Mims. He's another individual to definitely stay away from. And there's a few others as well. Like, anybody that's commenting on Francesca's or Sandy's fucking walls, you know, those are the people that are aiding them in calling the good people pedophiles, the good organizations bad names. And when we have the evidence to provide and prove it, you know, these people are the ones that are exposed. There's no video, no live that they can do to even save themselves from what we've uncovered within this fraud organization. Diane says, they flock to church every weekend. You know what? I bet they do. And that's another thing that I've noticed about Francesca specifically, is that they like using the God card. Behind closed doors, she's doing swearing, cussing people out, calling them pedophiles. But then in public, on another thread, she's saying that, hey, praise the Lord, amen, I'm innocent, I've never done anything wrong. Please do buy my book. You know what? That's just bullshit to reel you in, pull the wool over your eyes, and get you to buy her shit and to be a follower of her, another statistic that makes a number on a fan page or a contacts list that can like her shit so that she can get other people reeled in and so on. It's a cycle that's never fucking ending with these people. Ah. All right, so Shelly, please let me know if you see any of them on my wall. I will definitely, Shelly. Definitely. So in the end, ladies and gentlemen, it's safe to say that these organizations, these names that have been mentioned, are exposed as fraud advocates. They're not even advocates. You shouldn't be following them. You shouldn't believe them. You shouldn't fucking even get involved with them, because by doing so, you are risking your case. And if you truly do love your kids and you love your family, are you going to take a huge risk like that? If I were you, I would not be taking that severe risk. I'm not an organization that's an advocacy in any way, but I can offer you advice. I have beat the system. I do expose sex offenders successfully, and I have been for quite some time. You can see, and of course, having the downfall of exposing these kinds of individuals, they will try to discredit you and call you a pedophile. But you know what? That ain't going to make me stop. I'm just going to keep going no matter what. There's nothing you or anybody the pedophile can do to me. Just bring it on. Right? Because I always keep the evidence, and I'm going to teach you guys exactly how to do the same. Again, I'm going to bring up another thing when it comes to the corruption within family court and child protection. If anybody is currently dealing with a case through child protection, please do download an application on your mobile phone, your smartphone, that does record phone calls. Call Recorder Pro is a really good one, and it's really cheap to purchase. Also, on eBay, you can find spy hidden cam devices, okay, which are really good to use, putting around your house, and also taking with you in meetings with child protection so that you can record the calls and technically record the corruption, saving yourself a rack of meat that you can use against them in order to get your kids back. All right, that exactly worked for me 2 times in a row, and I want it to work for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm John Anderson. I really do hope you love these videos. It's a pleasure to keep exposing these scumbags, pieces of shit, nonstop, every day. It's what I do. And hey, I'm also a voice actor, so if anybody also wants to get some voice acting done, please do check out a lot of my demos, as well as other actors that are hired onto the team at www.silvermanslim.com. SILVERMAN.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to pop off here. I gotta sit down, smoke some weed, and just relax, because out of all the corruption, it is a stressful topic, knowing that so many innocent families are being bought in to give money to these corrupt pieces of shit. So you know what? With your help, we can end this. What I need you to do is share this video, find my YouTube channel, subscribe, share these videos, because all these videos and these shows are going to be getting a much more fucking deeper than what they've been getting. I've got a lot more guests lined up. I've got another hostess, I should say, in California that's going to be hosting a lot of my American stories, because, like I said, Stolen's been growing like wildfire, and lots of guests have been wanting to come on and express their stories of corruption and so on, and it's been getting overwhelming to the point where I've had to get more hosts on board. All right, so anyway, also, well, another thing is I've spent some good coin on getting you guys a website created to where you guys can post and expose your corrupt stories, because Facebook likes to have you guys filtered an awful lot, and I've seen that. So my website, of course, is secure, just like Facebook. It's www.stolen.club. It works just like a social media site, just like Facebook. You can post, you can start a fan page, start pages, and eventually what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to highlight the links of your articles when you make stuff, or blogs and forums and your fan pages, and share them into Facebook, so that none of your articles can be removed or banned, because you're simply just sharing a link from an outside source. Therefore, you bypass the Facebook filtering. All right, now this is a good investment. This is a big investment that I've made for you guys, all right? I don't ask for money. I don't go for it. There's a donation button. Again, I'm not going to be like a corrupt advocate and say, hey, I'm an advocate. But you know what? I'm not an advocate. All I am is the guy that's offering an outlet. This is my bread and butter, what I do, partially. So there is a donation button at the top of my website at www.stolen.club. Once you complete a profile and sign up, you will see that donation button. I don't want any donations from anybody that's fighting family court. You people need your money. You need your money as best as you can, so please do not donate to me. The people that I want to donate are people with corporations, companies, people that feel that they need a show like this to expose this corruption and to expose these false advocates, these frauds. And you know what? That's what that button is for. So for anybody that's dealing with a case I don't want your money. Please do not donate any money. Because if I find out you've donated your money, I'm going to be very upset. You're going to get that shit back. Okay, so what was the other thing I was going to add? I'm going to check one more time for comments. Hey, Jamie Ann, awesome. Thank you. Educational. Well, I'm glad it's very educational. Mimi, Jean, Jamie Ann, thanks for joining. Why is that church allowing this? It's wrong. I don't know. I don't know why that church allowed that sex offender to go there, but I guess maybe that church has also forgiven him for all the sex offending he's done as well. That video that you seen me in there where I do expose the sex offender after interviewing the victim, again, he admits to his 10 years of sexual offenses to this poor girl, and his excuse is that God has forgiven him. Okay, now I'm also a believer in a higher spirit, don't get me wrong, but you know, when it comes to sexual offenses and murder of children and sextortion, that kind of shit, I don't think that there is any kind of forgiveness realistically. I don't think that any real God could actually truly forgive somebody that's killed innocents out of children. I just can't see it. So if he feels that he's forgiven, then all the fucking power to him. But you know what? I don't forgive that convicted sex offender. And you can hear in the video where he admits it. He's telling me to please don't put it on the internet. It'll ruin his carpenter job or his carpenter company. And I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not. And he's trying to invite me over for coffee and shit. It's like, fuck you, buddy. No, I'm a victim of sexual abuse. Why the fuck would I want to sit in the same room as another abuser? Fuck that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching this show. Please, again, like I said, share this video. Get the shit out there, because the more that people listen to this, the more that you're going to help bring them to the awareness that these people are untrusted. These people are involved with convicted sex offenders. These people will call other people sex offenders when they're called out. Okay? When they're exposing them. When they're exposing these false advocates and these frauds. All right? This is what they do. Do you want to become part of that fucking cycle of hate? No, you don't. Do you want innocent other people to become part of that cycle of hate? No, you don't. So guess what? Share this video, because if you don't, then you know what? You don't share this video, you ignore it, you don't help other people stay aware. That means, like, logically, you're no better than the perpetrators. So if you don't share this video even after this, then guess what? You're no better than they are. Thanks for watching again. I'm John Anderson, and this is Stolen. Thank you.
Welcome to Stolen, strength together over legal empowerment now. Your host, John Anderson, is back with new shows, rants, special guests, and much, much more. Exposing corruption while giving the people an outlet to have their say on any and all corruption experiences they may have encountered in life. Please feel free to subscribe and share our shows in hopes of helping others know there still is and always will be hope. Join the club at www.stolen.club.